I thought it would be nice to kind of kick this thing off, given that we're doing this 2K row for Noble Clay, which is a charity to, deliver fitness, personalized fitness to under-resourced people. And considering that, why is it even important to deliver fitness to under-resourced communities? What are some of the benefits inside fitness that you guys have experienced personally, and why you think that's so important for other people to have access to?
I'll start. I think it's important because, looking back, I was a part of that under-resourced population, when I was a kid and first getting into fitness. And luckily in my community, we had something called the KYF, very similar to like a Boys and Girls Club, where I had the opportunity to go in. I think I had to pay like $10 a year or something like that. And I had access to basketball courts and a gym and all of that. So that was kind of where I got into it. And it's clear that that's not available in every community. So when we start to look at how younger kids first get into fitness, usually it's through sport, right? Or usually it's through like, I want to go, shoot some hoops, and then there's like this weight room in the back that's always kind of lurking back there, and eventually we find our way back over that way. But there's not a lot of those still rolling, right? Like YMCA's around the country have shut down, and they're not what they used to be. In this country specifically, I know like in Canada, YMCA is more like a Lifetime Fitness, how we would see it. But no, just being a part of that community as a kid, I can't even imagine having access to something like what Noble Clay is giving their community. So I think it's special, it's cool, and something that we support.
Yeah, I think about the same things for things you take for granted as a kid. I think you don't even know, like when you were a kid, you didn't even recognize what was accessibility to fitness. I think you were just doing what, and then in hindsight now it's like, oh wow, it was really nice that rec center was available. Or I think we're not doing this for Noble Clay this morning, by the way. We're doing this as a sacrifice. We're sacrificing a few cells, brain cells, and some metabolic cells somewhere are going to be lost today. Mm-hmm. So let's take a moment to thank those cells. Just pouring out for it. Thank you for those cells for getting us to this moment. I think that everyone has a right to express themselves physically. I think the biggest issue is not only accessibility, but I think is a lack of leadership on behalf of how to live a really healthy, worthy life today. I don't think there's any exemplars, maybe just the three of us and others around us are really for that, but physical expression has really gone so far in one area that it's been crowded and owned now by money and corruption, and it's just so deep in one direction that we're trying to scrape our way back to recognizing that we all have the ability to move, and we all have a right to be able to express that. And I think that there's things that like Noble Clay and other people are doing to try to rewrite those opportunities. So that's why I see OPEX involvement with Noble Clay.
James is like 2K row.
It's not on my mind. And it's I think it's liberating for us. It's worthy, something worthy, and it feels good, right? It's just a feel good thing to allow people at access. But I just can't go without mentioning that everyone has the ability to be able to express themselves, and it's not only a lack of accessibility. I think it's a lack of education and awareness on people. So as a child is born, as they come into this lived experience, they should have, throughout their early years and onward, a family that is an exemplar for movement expression and daily activity. Their community should have that, and I think that's where it gets fixed. Yeah. That's where it gets fixed. And we've just gone so far in trying to fix all that which is wrong. We've kind of lost our way of the deepest intentions of just movement. So this, what Noble Clay is doing is our opportunity to just say, yeah, we're with you on that fight of getting people back to the right intentions.
Definitely, and they've got an amazing coaching staff over there, and you know, their ability to bring what you're talking about to their community, to educate parents, to get, you know, whole families involved in fitness is such an incredible thing. Because, like you said, like it really needs to start there.
Yeah.
It's not just about access to a facility; it's about educating people so that they can share it with their families, and that can kind of trickle down when it comes to that ability to access fitness and to express. And yeah, I guess for me, like physical fitness was something that allowed me to get out of some bad relationships, to really rethink my values, just by connecting with myself a little bit better. Gosh, especially like 18, 20, like you're exposed to so many external influences. It's really easy to kind of lose track of who you are and where you want to go. So just getting into fitness early, getting into the gym, having great role models in that, definitely allowed me to think about me and where I wanted to go a little bit more versus like what all my peers around me were doing at the time.
Yeah, so you can imagine all three of our experiences, right? Like just go back and think about what led to those opportunities. That's what we need to think about, right? Like maybe Carl, it was embedded in you, or maybe he was given a chance. Like maybe someone said, just, you know, like a little nudge in one direction. Or maybe that opening was there in that facility, right? Like maybe they left the doors open. Like I can remember the rec center in Wabush, they'd leave it open a little later on Friday nights. And we didn't know why, but we kind of knew why. They didn't have to stay there. You know, so you got to keep recognizing where those little things came from. Like what happened at 18 and what happened when you were young and what happened when I was young to allow those things to happen. And I think it was wrapped around good intentions for people to be able to move, you know, and allow that to just bubble up. And then in the end, what you get is behemoths.
Just so I'm gonna do this. But
Resilient.
I'm definitely afraid of this
Resilient
2K row.
individuals.
I'm just thinking about.
I know,
this
I'm
too.
trying to talk as much as possible here to
Yeah,
calm
there's
anxiety.
gonna be no talking after. It's gonna fall off the rower and
So this is the
probably
test to
cry
today,
a little
is how
bit.
fast we can come back and
Can
sit here and have
recover,
a
yeah.
conversation.
So guys, if you see me pulling not as hard as possible, it's because I want to add value to the end of
To
the
the education on the back end,
Yeah, so it's for you.
yeah.
All right, guys, I think we'll take a couple minutes, get ourselves ready to go, and we should get this row underway.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
First thing to say after, it wasn't as bad as I was gonna
Oh man, I don't think I've ever said that after
I'll say it after this.
after any row.
Can I come in front of the other just in case there's anyone sitting on there still? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I can jump on my computer really quickly.
How to do a 2K row. Select workout. Standard list.
Oh man.
Very first option.
So you're working out every day.
2,000 minutes.
What are you going down?
2,000 meters. I'm gonna do a forward on the nose today. Yeah.
Select
Check the
workout.
drag. It's a
Oh,
little
man.
higher than I normally do.
It gets real when you go to select workout and you select it because you only have a certain amount of time before you have to start.
Yeah. The second greatest thing around doing a 2K row is seeing it go from 2,000 meters to 1,999 meters. Right? When you start, that 2 goes away and the 1 beat
yeah.
First win.
I'm in a new century. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Oh man.
Thanks for still streaming on the other one.
Okay, good.
YouTube.
It has the live underneath it, right?
Yeah. But sometimes live does.
Is it a good idea for my first stroke on the rower of the day to be the start of the 2K time row?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Principles. No, it's okay.
That's all we'll talk about.
Alright, well, Georgia figured this out.
Give me just a second.
Yeah, take your time.
We don't need music. Just listen to the sound of the machines.
That work. All right, I think it's deleting now, so we're gonna have one. Just the one live stream. Oh, I'm not excited for this. What's your best ever 2K, James?
6:53.
Okay. Carl, what's your best 2K?
Like 6:35, 6:30.
I remember rowing like 750 is probably the fastest I rowed 2K, and I like just couldn't stop like yelling for 30 seconds afterwards. Like everything hurt so much.
Pain or excitement?
Pain. Pain.
Gone under 6:30.
Gosh.
All right.
I'll never play in my lifetime.
What's your best? 6:53. Why did I think you were like in the 30s? I thought you had like a, was it a 5K? Was your 5K was stupid? I remember you did something that was like
18 and 5K.
which is just a
No, you might really thought about me saying I wanted to get a 6:48 one time. That was my goal. Was to get a 6:48, but I've never achieved that.
I probably spent total of 20 minutes on the roller in the last 6 months.
It makes it a novel experience.
Sure. All right.
I don't have that excuse. I've spent a decent amount of time on the roller in the past 6 months, and I'm still.
And you've been on the air rower as well.
That's true.
This should feel like a walk in the park.
It's true.
Are we
But
getting
you
an
can
Do you
ad?
know they call vacation days because you can take
Yeah,
vacations
commercials.
with them?
It's okay.
To places you haven't been stuff for the last 6 months.
Okay, guys.
All right,
Nice.
let's go.
Are we setting our workouts to 2K?
Oh, we've already gotten there, Georgia.
Gosh.
Standard list.
Yep. Okay.
First
Thank
choice.
you. It's
Check
been
your
a while.
damper.
It's been a while.
Check your foot position.
Yep. 3 is good for me.
Ready?
Okay.
Let's do this.
We ready, guys?
So it's gonna be over quick, right?
Yeah.
3,
7-ish minutes.
1, go!
You say 3, 2, 1, row.
Aha! I wish I had.
James, I thought you were at 130 something. I was like, dude!
It's definitely going to be over 8 minutes today.
30 meters remaining. BMOs are pulsating. That bad? Yeah.
Doing it for the people, guys. We're doing it for the people. Let's see how Georgia's doing. Hey, Georgia. How you doing?
Not so great, guys.
She went at map 0.05 for 7 minutes. 8 minutes?
8:22. Oh, that sucked. My quads.
Well,
Oh,
now that that's over,
See, it wasn't that bad.
no, not too bad. I didn't feel like my life was on the line. Like I could
Yeah.
you know.
Your previous times before, you probably had a lofty goal to shoot for too, right?
Yeah.
Keeps you pressured on
yeah.
staying there, you know?
I will admit though, I looked over at James's screen every minute or so just to see your average. And I was like, just come right before that.
I did my very best not to compare myself to you guys.
We were all going at the same stroke at one point there.
I know,
Notice
yeah.
that? Like a
Unison.
team.
The whole time I was thinking, suck and blow as you row. Times? Georgia, where were you?
8:22.
708.8.
6:57.
Nice. Snuck in under 7.
Good work.
It was a little strange though, because when I first started rowing, it felt really easy.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, I might get sub 650. And then like, I hit 1,000. No, you know what I did? I hit 1250.
Yep.
And I was like,
1250 gone?
1250 left.
Yep.
And I was like,
No,
Nope.
we added up.
Yeah. It was right about that like 600 meter mark for me where I was holding like 2016 Georgia pace and got to about 600 meters and yeah, reality of 2020 set in.
yeah.
That's where the
Shit's
practice of we all have the capability on a particular day is still doing a PR. It's training and limitations. Limitations in our own mind, and then training previous to it.
Yep.
That allows you that when you got 1250 left, up to 600.
Yeah.
Because 1250 to 600 is always a training and perception area. And you just spoke of it perfectly, is like, it's always around that, because it's around a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes,
Yep.
where if you've had previous training, that's really high threshold where
Yeah.
you're like, and your brain knows it, and everything is just, now it's just a decision on the day. It's like, do I really want to go there today?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So we all have the capability of doing like a wonderful PR here today. It's just whatever you limit yourself to whatever you're thinking, and the training does a big part of it, right? You haven't been doing 3-minute hard shit for twice a week for months.
Yeah.
So you have a good volume built and you know what breathing is like, but as soon as you go to that little bit red line, you got to practice it. That's it. No matter how tough you think you are, you got to have it in the training, you know?
Yeah,
And every once a Sunday is not enough.
No. I mean, it
Once a
takes
week.
me
On a Sunday.
takes me like back to honestly CCP and listening to you talk about, you know, if you've got a client and you're going to have them test a back squat, a one-arm back
Yeah.
squat, you shouldn't have to guess like
Yeah.
how that
You should know
client's
how
going
it's
to
gonna go.
perform,
Yeah.
what they're going to go into it, like their mindset, if you've prepared them in their
Yeah.
training leading up.
Yep. Yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise.
That was a bit of a surprise for my system.
What were limiters for you guys, if any?
Sorry.
That's okay. Accidental butt
We're
touch.
getting closer. I'll go
Oh,
first, because
yeah.
I remember mine clearly. If I can get it out. It was breathing, no. The dry air in here. No, mine was muscle endurance. Someone else gonna have to go.
Okay.
I gotta get some water.
I know. Do you want some water?
Have some of yours?
Of course you
Some
can.
belief.
Of course. No COVID in here, guys. My quads were a massive, yeah, fingers crossed. My quads were a big limiter for me. And I honestly knew that, like going into it, they would be. I have like a shitty knee, right? So it's hard for me to do a lot of knee flexion. I'm very hip dominant when I squat, and so anything that is quad muscle endurance is awful. If I think about like walking down a steep incline, my legs like shake like a leaf just because I don't have that endurance there, and my quads, they're super weak. So yeah, being on that rower, they were just fiery.
Yeah. Mine was more mental. It was a conversation I was having with
Yeah.
myself. I was telling myself to not go there because I haven't gone there.
Yep.
And the upside wasn't there to go there, right? It was like if I went there, and relative to where I was at that like 1250 1K mark, going there would have been like 138 to 140 per 500, and I was like at 143, 144. So it was a conversation that I had with myself, and then once I got to 250 meters remaining, I had another conversation of like, oh, if I was actually doing this and trying to maximize my score, what would my approach be if I had to do it again? And I would have tried to go there because I still had so much in the tank with 250 left.
Yeah.
So I had 250 left, and I'm like, okay, 139, 138, 135, and then finished at like 135. So for me, the limiter was psychological because I haven't trained that system. So I was scared to touch it because I didn't know what was going to happen if I touched it.
Yeah, training does have a part to play with that. You got to be there because the assumptions we make on how hard people finish. Remember that you got to do 4 minutes of work before you finish,
Yep.
right? So if that 4 minutes of work is 5% harder, finishing 250 is a whole different story.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
that's the perfect. The perfect 2K is the person that comes in with very low perception, no limitations, and they don't even know what's on the screen.
Yep.
They just go to whatever they think they can handle for as long as possible until someone says stop.
Yeah.
That's the perfect rendition. We limit ourselves so much. We limit ourselves so much based upon what we see in our perception, whatever.
Yeah.
And
And
No,
I
that was
like
fun.
being
That's
being
great.
comfortable too. So I was like,
yeah, for sure.
let
Well,
me not get too uncomfortable here.
well, I was thinking about it as you're saying it too. If you had two other brutes here,
yeah.
right? Two other males.
You mean we're not brutes, James?
We're kind of. We're brute light. Two other brutes that I should say absolute strength
I
and
gotcha.
capability. No, well, I'll qualify it. Absolute strength and capability. So they can clean 300 pounds each. They're males, and they're like today they're going for a 642, right?
Yeah.
That changes the story,
Yeah.
right? Carl, you know, you're always going to be competitive, and you're like, these little motherfuckers. You know?
Yeah.
Let's see who's doing fitness, right?
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
mean that changes
Yeah.
the entire. So, in hindsight, we bring them down. Right?
Definitely.
It's just the way it is. Like that's group thinking and the way
Yeah.
tribes work together. It's like, do I really want to stick my neck out and leave it all on the line
Yeah, yeah.
when these other two are going to be far behind me, right? Those are things you think about.
For
you know?
sure. I mean, it's funny
Who
you
you're
say
around.
that because for me, there was a justification in my head of I'm rowing with James and Carl. They're men. I know they're fitter than me. I don't have to compete with them. But if you put two chicks on the rower next to me, it would have been a different
By
story.
chicks, she means
We're
females.
absolutely
Women.
absolutely fitter than me. Not relatively fitter.
Yep.
So you could probably choke me out in 12 seconds, and I'd have to chase after you for 5 minutes to
Yeah.
choke you out. You know.
Yeah, different skill
So
set.
yeah, well, I mean, we gotta decide upon what fitness means, right? Fitness is long game, right? So whoever can last the longest is the fittest.
If I do too many more of those 2Ks, I'm not going to last very long.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So do you guys want to do something else, or is that it?
Oh, it's good for today. That was a good 7 minutes.
Carl's feeling spicy. What did you have in mind?
Oh, I don't know.
How about another 2K?
Yeah. You want to do it?
Like a recovery 2K?
Let's try to match what we just did.
No.
George's like, I'm out.
I probably wouldn't have the muscle endurance for it. I had no breathing limitations today. Just my upper body and lower body blood got in there, and then it just couldn't get out
I
fast
felt it in
enough.
my forearms the most.
Yeah. And I tried to stay good with technique, and I was like, oh, this is really good flow. And I look up, it's like 147, 148.
Yeah.
Which is a change. It's different.
I was just like, man, I wish I
Then
hadn't
repeats.
done so much volume and easy bar bicep curls yesterday.
Oh,
Pulling.
bad choice.
Feeling it.
Yeah. Well, guys, you have, what time is it? You've got probably like 15 hours or so more that you guys can sign up for the Noble Clay 2K. So if you've got some time this afternoon, grab a rower, go do a 2K for a good cause. Head to their website. I don't know what the link is
we
off
put
the
it
top
in
of
the
my head.
description here?
I can pop the link in the description for you guys, or if you Google Noble Clay 2K, I'm sure it will come up. But we encourage you to give it a go.
And I think they're almost at their goal of money raised. I think they're a couple $100 away. So if you guys have a couple dollars you
I'll
can
take
throw
us-
at it, that'd be awesome.
10 to 20 people,
Yep.
Yeah.
get a couple dollars, we appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for Noble Clay for putting it on too.
Yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
And we'll see, you'll see a lot of that with OPEX in the future.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
so
some
we
big
actually
plans.
just finalized our real partnership with Noble Clay. So we've been kind of playing it loose the last year or so. So yeah, excited to get that rolling and move that forward. So they'll have OPEX somewhere in their name moving forward.
Super.
They won't be an OPEX gym, but
Yeah,
they will
super.
be, educated by OPEX.
Awesome.
Thanks guys.
Happy Sunday.
I feel like we need to sign off again because we just, oh no, you gotta like hit it as you sign. See you guys.
Oh, I didn't do it.